Like it or not, it is speculation season. It's that time of the year where nothing is going on in the NFL because OTAs, mini camps have all yet but wrapped up. But then at the same time, we're getting excited about training camp. But it's very difficult to come out with any breaking news stories because, again, all teams are on a mini summer vacation before they really start to hit the ground running and football will be officially back. But I think one of the biggest narratives surrounding the Buffalo Bills, or one of the most exciting talking points, is hey, Dan, we are super excited about this team, made all of the right improvements across the roster. And the media has been telling us that Buffalo has one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. So I thought it would be interesting to take a look back at our schedule. And so I'm pretty sure we've had time to allow it to marinate and season within our minds and determine a ceiling and a floor for this team. Now, in case any of you guys follow me on any other social media platform like TikTok, for example, or X or Instagram, you may have seen my video this morning where I actually asked ChatGPT to give us the Bills ceiling and or floor based off of all of the storylines surrounding the roster, some of the new acquisitions, et cetera, et cetera. But regardless, I am absolutely thrilled to dive into today's episode. Please do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already, and subscribe and turn on bell notifications because, as many of you know, I structure my episodes where I discuss the topic at hand for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I end up transitioning over to the live chat where you guys get to take control of the conversation in a Q&A segment. All right, I'm very excited to unpack all of this. Let's go ahead and see what the chat has to say. We have Moshe is coming and saying we need a better safety, and Joseph has come in and said 15-2 in the floor is 17-0 ceiling. Excuse me, a 15-2 floor and a 17-0 ceiling. We have Joseph coming in. He is very optimistic of this overall team. All right, but hey, you know what? Let's just dive into it because I got to tell you, everything on earth that the media is trying to tell us, or what most people from the Bills organization, or even what the media is telling you in general, this Buffalo Bills squad has a very, very easy schedule, folks. I'm not sure if you guys were plugged into my content a couple of months ago when the schedule release was made public, but as many of you know, I had a wish list. I said that, number one, I didn't want a gauntlet at all throughout the season. I also did not want to have to travel very much. I wanted the schedule to be aligned in the perfect way. And I got to tell you what, I'm sitting here looking at all of the difficult games that we have to play, at least on paper, right? Like what many would come out and say, oh my God, like you're playing this team, they're elite. That's going to be a challenge. The Baltimore game, the Kansas City Chiefs game, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Cincinnati Bengals, who I would probably say are our four most difficult opponents going into 2025. Guess what, ladies and gents? All of them are at home. And I'm not sure if you remember, but last year the Buffalo Bills were nothing but dominant in Highmark Stadium, blowing out each and every single opponent we had, with the exception of one. This Buffalo Bills team is just an entire different animal when it comes into playing at home. So the Buffalo Bills certainly ended up dodging a bullet in that capacity. And I've said this a couple of times, right? And some people might mistake it as me being a homer. But come on. Let's attempt to look at this as objectively as humanly possible here. All right? We have the Baltimore Ravens game week 1. And let's be honest with ourselves, that's going to be a good game, right? And Baltimore and Buffalo typically play each other very well. It could go either way. But I'm not so much concerned about the Baltimore game because I want you guys to take a peek at what the remainder of the schedule looks like. We have the Jets, who first off are going to be rolling out a quarterback who cannot read a defense in the first place. Have Miami in Buffalo. Okay, please give me a break on that one. Have the Saints on Sunday, have New England, and have Atlanta, followed by a bye where Sean McDermott is undefeated after the bye. We play the Carolina Panthers, followed by the Kansas City Chiefs, who we regularly end up defeating at home all the damn time in the regular season, followed by Miami, followed by Tampa Bay, which is going to be a good game. I'm not going to fret there, and that's at home as well. The Houston Texans, Steelers, Cincinnati, New England, Cleveland, and Philadelphia. I got to be honest with you. The only games that I see on this schedule right here that generally strike fear within me is the Philadelphia Eagles and Baltimore Ravens. Every other team, I'm going to pick the Bills because I just quite frankly think that we are a better overall top to bottom organization, way better coached. Way too many things are going against some of these other organizations. And don't get me wrong. And so I could see a world where we end up dropping a couple of rate of home games. And so I could see us losing to Cincinnati. And so I could see us maybe dropping one to Tampa Bay on an off situation. But my overall speculation going into this season is going to remain uniform. I genuinely believe this Buffalo Bills ceiling is 15-2. 15-2 is a very realistic ceiling based off of how our schedule is lined up and based off of how well we play at home and all of the difficult games we have are going to be in front of a home crowd. Yeah. And I'm not even counting out that Baltimore and Philadelphia are automatic losses. How many people looked us in the eye last year when the schedule was released in 2024 and people said, oh my God, you're playing the Lions. Y'all are about to get your teeth knocked in, right? Every single year that we ultimately end up playing a team that most would suggest or most would assume that we don't have a shot at beating, we see the Buffalo Bills go out there and make some noise. And look, and for all we know, maybe Philadelphia has that division locked up by the second to last week of the season, or we do for the most part. So who knows? But ceiling for Buffalo, I'm going to have to stand pat on this. I believe a 15-2 ceiling is very, very realistic. As far as a floor for me, I feel like this is going to be very optimistic, and I still think that this is good enough to win the AFC East by a couple of games, is 12-5. Losses, like, let's just say worst case scenario. We have Baltimore, Philadelphia, maybe Houston. Solid defense over in Houston. Maybe Tampa Bay right in the shootout, and then some odd random game or something like that. So I would say, based off of my best guess, floor for the Buffalo Bills is 12-5, and the ceiling is 15-2. And I got to tell you, I'm feeling a hell of a lot more confident about 15-2 than I would be 12-5, because we need to be 15-2, folks. We need to have that record that propels us to the first seed in the playoffs this year. It is so crucial that this team gets the number one seed in the NFL. And I think this is the perfect season for us to finally take advantage. Because number one, we just looked at our schedule. It is positioning us to take that number one seed, first round bye, have the Super Bowl run through Buffalo in the AFC. And then you have to look at the AFC North, who has some very difficult competition. So they play the AFC East and the NFC North. So something to put out there. And plus, with the AFC North is going to beat up each other. There's not a lot of competition within the AFC East, folks. Like, nothing has changed there. Followed by the AFC West, who has significantly gotten better, right? They are going to be beating each other up as well. So based off of where we are, living in the AFC East, the fact that we are playing the NFC South, I'm liking our chances this year for that first seed. And not only am I liking it, it is absolutely imperative that we end up getting closer to our ceiling rather than our floor. That's my soapbox, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as many of you are aware, now is the point of my episode where I transition over to my live chat, where I allow them to take full control of the conversation in my daily Q&A segment. Guys, in order for me to easily decipher between questions and answers, or excuse me, questions and statements, please label them appropriately with either a Q and or an S, so I can make sure that I give a quality experience for anybody tuning in to the replay of this episode, and or to the Spotify, Apple podcast edition of that. And by the way, guys, I am actually posting each and every single episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So say, for example, that you're new here, but you're more of a podcast person and would much rather listen to this on audio. Go to the links in my description and go on ahead and follow me on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify in case one day you're driving to work or you're on a road trip and you just want to be caught up on everything Buffalo Bills. Would mean the world to me. I do need to give a giant shout out to today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be our good friends at William Attar. Folks, if you were ever hurt in a car, you got to call William Attar, #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. I would never wish a car accident on anybody, but that is the cruel reality, folks. Some people don't know how to drive, and unfortunately, you are on the receiving end of an injury. If that happens, have to have the right representation and look no further than our good friend William Attar. All right, let's go ahead and pop on in to our question and answer segment. We're going to have to see. We have Daniel has come in with a statement from Facebook. What is going on, Daniel? Hope all is well. You have to consider injuries. That is always a concern with the Bills, especially on the defensive side of the ball. History has shown this to be the problem. And going even deeper into that, I would say that that was the problem, and that was the main reason of our playoff blunders. Had to do with the significant drop-off in the next man up, especially in the secondary. I feel a lot more confident going into this year that even if there is injuries on the defense, which that certainly tends to be the trend, I feel a lot more confident with that next man up level, with our second string. I feel a bit more at ease, like sort of with our current situation. But you know what? Hopefully the universe ends up blessing us with a fully healthy season, or at least healthy enough or at max health when playoffs are right around the corner. You are absolutely right. And it's something that I love to see. We have Joe Riss saying that the Dolphins are going to sweep the Bills. I highly doubt that. Boy Wonder, 20,090. I wouldn't sleep on the Patriots, but the Dolphins and the Jets are light work. Yeah, for sure. Say that I had to predict on any team in the AFC East potentially stealing a win from us this year, it would probably have to be the Patriots, right? Mostly because they're wildly annoying and they always play us very well for some reason. And now you add Mike Vrabel, who I have a lot of respect for as a head coach in this league. Say that any team is going to beat us this year, I'd probably have to say the Patriots, but that would probably be our single loss within the AFC East. As far as the Jets, like year one of a rebuild, right? You have the Miami Dolphins, who are 1 year away from a full-blown rebuild, right? An absolute dumpster fire of an offensive line. I don't think that they will be able to run the ball effectively. Like last year, Tua was last in the league for average depth of target and was first in the league when it came into passes behind the line of scrimmage. And that's not just because of him. That's just because their offensive line is so ass that they cannot really get anything going with the run game, especially trying to attack the A and the B gaps. So that is how they were able to create small yardage. And the Dolphins continuously ignoring the importance of putting together a quality offensive line is going to be yet another trend as into why they will be irrelevant again this year. Largely how I'm looking at it. Young Baller reacts, "Hey, Dan, I just met Joshua Palmer yesterday at Team Town Sports in Mississauga. That's awesome, my friend. I am very envious. How was he? Did he end up giving you any advice, my friend? Or did he give you any tidbits on what to expect from him this season?" Because, look, as far as Joshua Palmer and so Elijah Moore is concerned, I'm very optimistic. But I want to see it actually like be executed efficiently. Because like it or not, like we can all get excited about the intangibles that Joshua Palmer brings to the table. Like we can get excited about the film he's put out, right, in very limited sample size. And we can get very excited about what Elijah Moore could potentially mean to this team. But statistically, they are not proven. I really hope that they live up to this hype and all of these intangibles. And the fact that Elijah Moore never had a good quarterback, like that was truly the reason why he never made it into the NFL or why he hasn't been a household name. I sincerely hope that both of them end up working out. Sometimes I just try to be like a bit cautiously optimistic, especially since we had that exact same mindset for Curtis Samuel last offseason. But then again, like he was playing through a turf toe injury. I still hold on to optimism from that player, but here we go. Sports gamer fan, I hope Maxwell Harrison is good. We need him for our defense. I mean, look, he came from a zone scheme right out of Kentucky. He runs a 4-2-3. He's wildly athletic. And from what I understand, we're getting quite a bit of positive reviews from him so far at OTAs and also in minicamp. So hopefully everything works. Dominic, what's up, Dom? This is one of the best rosters of the Allen era. It certainly is, my friend. And shout out to Dom. He is an intern over at Roundtable Sports. He's absolutely killing it. And him and Smitty are actually about to have their own show on one of our Bills Roundtable channels as well, starting in August. So we're very excited to introduce him to the Roundtable Sports community. I know you guys will absolutely love him. We have Emmett. Yo, Dan, huge fan. Emmett, well, let me tell you what, my friend. I am a big fan of you. I am a big fan of you, my friend. I appreciate you coming in and making this a part of your daily routine. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. And thank you for the donation. That is going above and beyond, folks. But the easiest way to show love over here is quite simply just by hitting that thumbs up sign for me. And so I have been doing this for about 5 years now, where I just unpack everything that's happening around our favorite team. And all I ask is that you just hit that thumbs up sign so more Bills fans can discover this show and we can extend this conversation even more. I absolutely love talking to Bills Mafia every single morning, Monday through Friday, and getting a temperature check on what the fans have to say. Dan, we have Joe Rest is coming in. Dan, and do you think Mike McDaniel gets stuffed in a locker at halftime? And that's why Dolphins never make adjustments. For sure, man. Like he definitely has a yeah, dude. Like he definitely has a bullyable face. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude looks like he gets bullied by like his players. Like for some reason, he probably gets like a swirly. They throw him in a locker and stuff like that. And yeah, dude, it's funny about Mike McDaniel. I really wonder what's going to happen to him. Say that his team misses the playoff again this year. I just think that the Dolphins are dangerously close into just completely blowing everything up and starting over. But it's not necessarily a bad thing because next year's quarterback class is actually very, very talented. But hey, man, who knows? Who knows, man? We have Walking in Faith with Jacob Spears' statement. I am officially on summer break, so I can watch more Dan. Dude, I love that. Happy summer vacation, my friend. What are your plans this summer, man? Talk to us. Sports gamer fan, I think corners and depth have been a weakness in the playoffs, and it showed in the AFC Championship game. Worthy and Hollywood killed our corners for sure. For sure, man. And so we can typically get away with running zone, having slower corners, but like we always had several missing pieces across the board, which allowed at least one of them to be a killer for the Buffalo Bills defensive scheme. Now we have a player that could, at least on paper, run side by side with Worthy and Max Harrison. But now I feel a lot more comfortable with Tre'Davious White being in the second string. I feel more comfortable with Ingram. And to be completely honest with you, I would have much preferred Ingram out there in place of Benford during the playoffs in the AFC Championship, opposed to Kyer Elam. But I suppose we will never find out how that plays. McDaniels looks like he gets bullied by his kids. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Go Bills, baby. William, what's going on, man? Hope all is well in Sweden, my boy. What is good? Filthy Dollar Bills, what's up, Dan? Why is the media predicting Bills will have more losing games this season than last season when we have a way better squad this season? Go Bills. Filthy Dollar Bills. So I think it could be for a variety of reasons. Number one, my friend, is that clicks pay the bills, right? Views pay the bills. So I think the media is probably just trying to find a way to rile up Bills fans because that's how they end up impressing their advertisers. Number two, I think they're just completely delusional. It's very difficult for me to look at this Buffalo Bills squad who went 13-4 last year, and make no mistake, and they were really 14-3. Like, we just sat all of our starters for the final week right against the Patriots. Like, that was basically another preseason game. Like, that team was 14-3 last year, right? And we accomplished that with a quote unquote lackluster wide receiving core. But then this season, we turn it around. We improve in all of our weaknesses. And now we have like the 5th easiest schedule in the NFL. It's very difficult for me to see how anybody could be on that same page. I could see, right, if say some more players or whatever, or some more teams saw significant improvements during the offseason, but they didn't, right? So it's certainly a head scratcher, my friend. It is a head scratcher. I'm going to try and get into the Special Olympics. Dude, let us know about your journey. And so I certainly hope that you end up getting in. So what event would you be competing in? I'm very curious, my friend. I'm very curious. Best of luck and train hard. We will be rooting for you, bro. Ruben, hey, Buffalo, let Frank Gore Jr. go. Don't ruin his chance at stardom, keeping him on the practice squad. Ruben is doing his best to get Frank Gore Jr. onto this squad. So look, I really don't even think that he had practice squad protection last year, right? So you can actually rip a player off of the practice squad. I feel like I'm going to have to do my fact check on that. And so I wonder if like you can only protect 2 players on the practice squad. I wasn't sure if Frank Gore was one of them. Say, for example, that a team wants him and he doesn't make the 53-man roster, nothing would be stopping any other NFL organization and from being able to grab him. Yeah, nothing would be able to stop an NFL organization for inquiring. And so as long as Buffalo does not protect him on the practice squad, that is it. I am going to try and do track and field. Not try, Jacob. You will, my friend. You will. You will, my friend, and you will dominate. And you will dominate. That is the energy I need from you, Jacob. Young Baller reacts, hey, Dad, and do you think the Bills could trade for Kyle Pitts? I think it would be a good move, especially having Josh Allen as the quarterback, and that could unlock his potential. So I'll tell you what. So I feel like I'm a bit timid when it comes into players that have unlocked potential, right? Because, dude, I was so high on Curtis Samuel last year. Like, I was going out saying that he was going to be an 1,000-yard receiver because he was reunited with Joe Brady. He finally has a good quarterback. And what was it? A giant dumperooski, right? And Kyle Pitts, I also have a bit of beef with him because I have drafted him on my fantasy football team for the past 2 to 3 years. And don't lie to me in the chat, folks. I know you've done the same thing because you bought into that propaganda from Kyle Pitts. And I have just been disappointed year after year after year. Right now, I think Buffalo is actually pretty happy with their current tight end room. I still think they're very optimistic that Dalton Kincaid's last year downturn was nothing but an anomaly. But we'll see, man. The media isn't something to take serious. Joe Rist, predicting 1 to 2 losses is ridiculous, even when good. Even when good, man. I'm going to try and do track and field. Man, you are going to kill it, brother. I promise you, you will. Wasn't sure how that worked. Yeah, for sure. I think that every single NFL team, so I think they're allowed to protect 1 or 2 players on the practice squad, but everybody else is fair game. So a team could go to like some other practice squad and sign a contract for somebody. So nothing is stopping an NFL organization from grabbing Frank Gore Jr. if there was a need. Statement, hey, Dan, hope all is well. Go Bills. Jackie, you too, my friend. I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday, June 17th. We have Weston Brewster has come in, and potential is just a fancy way of saying you haven't done anything. Right? Like it's certainly optimistic because Buffalo has been able to get the best out of players that really didn't have much of a career before. A perfect example was Jordan Poyer. Like, he was a safety for the Browns for a while, did nothing, but then he came to Buffalo and he was like an all-pro. I'd say the same thing for John Brown, Smoke Brown, right? Where like he was on the Ravens, he was wide receiver number 3, but then he came to Buffalo and he was like a cornerstone for this organization. So maybe Josh Palmer does that, right? Maybe Elijah Moore shocks the world and he truly was held back by lackluster quarterback play. I feel like all we can do is hope. Sports Gamer fan, no Kyle Pitts getting traded to the Bills. I don't think That would really help. We have Knox and Kincaid, and I think Kincaid will break out. He is determined this year after the drop in the AFC Championship game. I mean, look, it's tough. It's funny because I feel like every single Chiefs loss comes with something that just haunts us, right? One was the 13 seconds a couple of years ago. And then I also think 2 years ago was AJ Klein, like being asked to guard Travis Kelce, like some fourth string, like linebacker off of the couch. And then last year was Dalton Kincaid dropping the football. But we will see. Bella Rose has come in. Hello, Dan. Bella, what is going on? We have Glenn with the Hard Knocks jinx, ceiling 9, floor 5. Glenn, I don't think you've ever been right. And so about anything within the AFC East. And don't give me, oh, yeah. And so I predicted the Buffalo Bills wouldn't win the Super Bowl. Come on, dude. Like, that's like me predicting that it's probably going to be sunny once within a 10-day period, right? Or once within a 30-day period. Let's not flex. One specific team out of 32 teams in the NFL is not going to win a Super Bowl, right? Like, that's like predicting, all right, you know what? I am going to wake up with morning wood one time, so the next 20 days or something like that, like something so obvious. And so the odds are in your favor. Give me an actual prediction, Glenn, that turns out to be right. All right? Because you have never been correct about the Buffalo Bills ever since we've started this roundtable sports situation. Old Dusty Hammock. Dan, come to the Chiefs game in Buffalo this year. Lifelong fan from Olean area. Will be my first game. I made it to the Ralph before it ended. Old Dusty Hammock. Dude, I got to tell you what, man. I'm going to be up there for the Bills-Dolphins game, Thursday Night Football, Week 3. I'm going to try and get up for one more home game. I will let you know. Question. I am asking this again because we added to the linebacker room, but now I'm wondering, what do you think is our worst position group? It's going to be safety now. Like linebacker. So linebacker was a concern of mine, but safety was always the priority, mostly because we run nickel and we're only seeing 2 linebackers out there half of the time anyway. So now it's safety, hands down, is my biggest issue. Watching from Melbourne, Australia, we have too many, not too few receivers this year. Go Bills. I'm going to tell you what, Forrest. First off, good evening to you. And so I know it's probably around like 8 or 9 p.m. or maybe even 10, depending on where in Australia you are. And I appreciate you for tuning in and showing a little bit of love. Let's make it happen. Sal is coming. Interesting. LOL. Corbin Merla. If Deion Walker gets healthier and finds his right build with the athleticism at someone his size, he genuinely could be a generational defensive player. I hope so. And so I'll leave it at that. You're right about that. You bet against the Bills not making a Super Bowl. That's an easy win. Everybody knows that for sure. But like, why don't you attempt to impress me, like with something football related, Glenn? You know what I'm saying? Like, actually impress me, right? Is my 5-year-old cousin and could roll up to me and say, hey, I guarantee you the Houston Texans are not going to make the Super Bowl. Like, it's not impressive. It's not impressive, my friend. Mafia Madness. And do you think we should pick up Julian Blackmon or Justin Simmons? I'm going to have to pass. DTN. Dan, I'm hoping and praying the Bills don't make this a pattern by going 13-4 one year and then 11-6 and back to 13-4 and then back to 11-6. Have to stay consistent to improve to a 13-4 record. David Evans. Dan, I am moving to Orlando today. Let's get tickets to the Bills and Miami game in Miami. David Evans, where are you moving from, my friend? Orlando. That's pretty sick, man. You're not too far away from me. I don't know, man. That does sound good. We're going to have to see how the away schedule looks. We have Sports Gamer Fan has come in. Justin Simmons, I think we should pick up. He is really good. I just played Mahomes a lot. He's old. Question. So what do you think the solution should be at safety? So say that you have to be weak at any position group right within the NFL, I'd probably have to choose safety. Largely because so you can get away with average safety play. And so as long as you scheme out of it appropriately, right? Um, say that you just run a lot of too high, or say for example, like you like have like some very talented corners. Like you can get away with like piss poor or average safety play. So as far as solution, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be something that we're going to have to deal with this year. The Buffalo Bills tend to hiccup every other year. Daniel Evans moving from South Korea. Dude, wow. That's a hell of a move, my friend. That is a hell of a damn move. Well, welcome to Florida, my friend. And so I live in Florida currently, and I am moving to a different place in Florida here right within a month. So I'm moving to Gainesville, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, right in Gator country, which is ironic, especially since I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to be enjoying it, and I'm probably going to be catching a couple of Gators games in person this year. Who knows, man? Maybe I'll even launch into a football show about college football. Who knows? Who knows? So I'm ready to lock in. Spidey Munn, losing sucks, but I don't care what the record is as long as we win a Super Bowl. I certainly agree. Cole Bishop will be the solution. He started to show that in the playoffs. I certainly hope so. And there always has been. Right? A year two jump. Don't sign that clown Tre'Davious. Yup, Sal. They did hiccup in 2021 a lot, but ended up performing spectacular in the playoffs till the inevitable 13 seconds. So here is that. We have Tori. I am moving in a month too. I feel like everyone's moving these days. I feel like everyone's on the damn clock. All right. Hey, listen, it's certainly exciting, and many of us can discuss and some changes if necessary. Is this the third time you moved? Last year, I've been in Destin for 2 years. Trey has come in. It's nice out there. Hope you enjoy it. I've never been to Gainesville before. Hopefully it's cool. I think that I'm going to have one more move after that. And then hopefully I'll be able to be in Nashville, Tennessee long term. That's where I want to be long term, is Nashville, Tennessee. That's where I want to be. Long term, baby. It's nice out there. Hope you enjoy it. Guys, 168 of you are in the chat right now. We have 91 on YouTube. We have 76 on X. If you're just coming in, please do me a favor. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And turn on those notification bells. It is the doldrums of the off season, but we are going to be having some conversations here. Let me know, and I will go to a Gator game with you, even though my family is a Florida State alumni. Dude, sick, David. Shoot me a text. Shoot me a DM. We can get it going. So I will tell you what, and so I am planning on going to the Gators and the Longhorns game. That I'm very excited about. Florida, Texas is going to be sick. Florida State is probably going to be knocking it out too. But we're going to see. Why would you want to be in Nashville, Tennessee? I just love Nashville, Glenn. Oh my God, Nashville. So not the city specifically, but like one town, like right outside of Nashville. It's called Franklin, Tennessee. That would be awesome, right? And so I've lived at a beach town, like I would say, since I was 13 years old. But I like low-key hate the beach. And so I'm more of a mountain guy. So I feel like Nashville would kind of be like the perfect sense of both worlds, where like I have a city, and so I can go watch live pro sports if I wanted to, but then I could take like an hour drive and I can go hiking or something like that. And there's still good hunting out there too, right? And surprisingly enough, I am a hunter. And surprisingly enough, folks. And so I do hunt. And so I miss that. I am a Chiefs fan, so I am a rival of you. Hey, well, you know what? Stop breaking our heart, Tori. Hell yeah. Nashville, Tennessee is awesome. I am near Asheville, North Carolina. It's beautiful out there too. And so I've been to Franklin to live about an hour away. Oh, damn. Really? Yeah, dude, it's cool, man. It's cool, dude. Like, so that's what I would like to do. So that's what I would like to do is so just about like a year or two. Uh so I'll be in Gainesville and then hopefully I'll end up in Nashville. We'll see. And that's where I want to instill my roots, fools. And so have a bunch of little Dan Mitchells running around, you know what I mean? Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Time to start a Titans channel. No. No, I'm not gonna do that. Don't sleep on Chattanooga. I do like Chattanooga, Tennessee, too. I love Chattanooga, Tennessee as well. That's also a sleeper, from what I've understood. I've been to Franklin, Tennessee, and so I live about an hour away. There you go, Glenn. There you go. So the Gators are going to be your college team. No, my dad went to Georgia. Oh shit. Excuse me, my uncle went to Georgia. So I'm kind of a Georgia Bulldogs fan. And so I really don't follow college ball as much. And so I really don't follow college ball as much as and so as I like follow the NFL. And so I went to Coastal Carolina University. And by the way, right now they are playing in the College Baseball World Series. And we play on Wednesday. We're currently 2-0. Sent Arizona home. All right. Smacked around Arizona for the first game. Second game took care of business. Let's go Chance, baby. I'm not sure if you have thought about this, but what if you reviewed game film on stream a day or two after every game? That is what I'm doing. That is what I am doing, baby. If we don't win it all this year, then I'm convinced we never will with Josh Allen. Everything is set up for the schedule wise. Mafia Madness, bro, skip my question. I'm sorry, Mafia Madness. What have you got? So me personally, I think that okay. So me personally, I think Blackman would benefit us because I haven't heard very many things about Derek Forrest, which is concerning. It's still early, right? So we only had mini camp. Once training camp comes around, we'll have a better understanding of what that looks like. Statement: if we don't win it all this year, then I'm convinced we never will with Josh Allen. Everything is set up for us schedule-wise. Bro, skip my question. Walter asked, would Bob be the Godfather? Yes, he would. Nice Starbucks. Starbucks, Richie. Starbucks, Richie. Hey, dude, he's been trying to get me on the Starbucks train for a while. Me personally, I'm big on Dunkin' Donuts. Like, that's the elite coffee right there. And so I'm not much of a Starbucks guy. And so I'm Dunkin' through and through, ladies and gents. But all right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. I will be live a bit later for Fourth and Forever, presented by Roundtable Sports. And so I know that DTN loves Dunkin' because he's from Boston. Like, that is a Boston staple, is Dunkin' Donuts. All right. But anyway, love y'all. See you here in a bit on Fourth and Forever. Stay tuned for some of my more short form content as well, folks. And so I know that I stream on YouTube like Monday through Friday, but like I'm posting about like 4 to 5 times a day on TikTok, Instagram, on X. It's the exact same video. So just choose one of those platforms. Say, for example, that you ever miss me. All right. At Real Dan Mitchell. And I will see you guys a bit later this afternoon. See y'all soon. Peace.